Holy shit, you guys, this is huge. Now, as I'm sure you've already seen by this point, we got our first full trailer for the upcoming Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover somewhat recently, and it's fucking awesome. I mean, yeah, there are a few bits and pieces of repeat footage scattered throughout this thing, something I'll talk about in a little bit, but the majority of it is brand spanking new, nothing but straight up end of the world Crisis level goodness. Seriously, I'm so excited. So let's not waste any more time here, let's check out this brand new Crisis trailer. Now right at the start, we're hit with what you'd think would be a huge spoiler, right? I mean, come on, we literally just started this trailer, and we're already seeing the end of Earth 1 apparently. Well, actually, this is just a reused shot from episode 2 of this season of The Flash, titled A Flash of the Lightning. Actually, a quick look through the trailer shows us a few reused shots from both the season 6 premiere and the second episode, including that Star Lab shot, the crowd running, Barry running around that building, and Iris dying. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I highly doubt we're going to see any of this happen in the actual crossover. I mean, if anything, we'll probably just be seeing these clips in flashbacks or something, like maybe Barry's gonna tell all the gathered heroes what he saw when he was hooked up to Jay's machine and how he was supposed to die or whatever, but that'll probably be the extent of it. Anyways, moving on, next we see Jean, Kara, and Alex looking at something tearfully while Kara says they're gone. Ooh, very ominous. But who's gone? What's she talking about? Now, I have seen some theories that she's referring to Earth 38, the one her show's been set in this entire time, but given how you can clearly see that they're standing in the DEO based on the background, and that there's a shot later in the trailer showing Lila as Harbinger in the DEO, presumably to recruit Kara, I'm gonna have to say that that theory is pretty much dead in the water. So what else could Kara be referring to then? Well, they could be looking at another Earth, like maybe they started mapping antimatter popping up throughout the multiverse like Jay did somehow, or they could be looking at other planets in their universe getting destroyed in real time. I mean, we do know Supergirl has some pretty emotional attachments to places like Argo, where Superman, Lois, and her mom are all living right now. Maybe this shot is her thinking all three got annihilated or something, who knows. After we get the same shot of Earth 73 getting destroyed like we did in the other teasers, we then get to see Earth 1 Barry talking to his Earth 90 self and saying every second another Earth dies.
Holy crap!
First off, I'm glad that we're probably going to get to see Earth 90 Flash in action again, and for real this time. I mean, I can't be the only one who remembers how he was hyped up like crazy for the Elseworlds crossover, only to end up getting less screen time than we thought he would. Of course, he may not be kicking around for long, if certain theories are to be believed, but whatever, I'll take what I can get at this point. Either way, the thing I keep wondering about is what the deal with this scene is. Why does it feel like Earth 1 Barry's trying to psych up his Earth 90 self enough to get back into the action? This Barry certainly seemed like a very driven hero in last year's crossover, running all the way to Earth 1, trying his hardest to warn the other heroes about the Monitor, even trying to save their world so it wouldn't go through the same thing his did. It seems a little weird, at least until you remember that A, this Barry got his ass thoroughly stomped by the Monitor on Earth 90 and was completely disregarded by him on Earth 1, and B, we have no idea what happened to him after he got hand-waved away in Elseworlds. Regardless of what specifically happened to him, I'm wondering if this scene means that Earth 90 Barry is going to need one of those visits from Dr. Hallway before he jumps back into the fight, and presumably ends up dead. Next up is a quick shot of a group of heroes in what looks like a ruined lobby of some building on some random Earth. I'm not entirely sure what all's going on with the door behind them. Could be some teleporter side effects, maybe something going on with Black Lightning, I have no idea. Now, for whatever reason, the first time I watched this trailer, I was convinced that they were in the Daily Planet in the Donnerverse or the Kingdom Come universe, whichever you want to call it, since we know that gets attacked at some point, presumably by the Joker, like in the comics. It would explain why the building still looks like crap, and this thing looks kinda like the Daily Planet globe, similar to the paperweight the Joker used on Lois in the Kingdom Come universe in the comics. The thing is though, we know the planet still has to be functional to some degree, since they ran a story about their own offices being attacked, and we know that Clark is the editor-in-chief of the place by the time Crisis happens, so you think Superman of all people would have cleaned up a little bit before getting to work, right? Even ignoring that though, rewatching some Superman Returns clips and trying to compare this place to the Daily Planet in that movie pretty much confirms that this is a totally different building. So your guess is as good as mine. Let me know in the comments where you think these guys ended up. That having been said though, we do know that some of them will wind up in the Kingdom Come universe at some point. Something we see reconfirmed in this new trailer thanks to a shot of Kate holding one of Cisco's breach devices while saying, "Let's go save the universe." Now, as we saw in the earlier trailers, she ends up going to what looks like Wayne Manor in the Kingdom Come universe and comes across one of Bruce's dusty old bat suits, which we can see a bit more clearly in this shot. Although that doesn't really mean much since it's pretty much the exact same batsuit we first saw in Batwoman. Afterwards, we get a few flashes of a bunch of different characters, like Superman and Supergirl, that Harbinger shot I mentioned earlier, and various other heroes just wandering around looking at stuff dramatically. Really, the only two important shots I want to focus on in this part is that look at Tom Welling's Clark Kent and Pariah on some Earth. Now, Clark isn't really doing anything in this trailer, and honestly, I think the promo images made it look like he's just chopping wood, so he's not exactly doing anything world-shattering. We did get confirmation a while ago that he'd be joining up with the other two Supermen in the crossover though, so fingers crossed they're saving all the cool shots of him doing stuff for the actual crossover. I don't know, I'm just being optimistic. Now, as far as Pariah goes, he's also not really doing a whole lot, but it does look like he's on a farm somewhere. Could be Kent Farm on whatever Earth the Smallville universe is, or he could be in the exact same place on Earth 38. It's not entirely clear. But we can see a few other people in the background behind him, so I'm assuming this happens after most of the other heroes start gathering and trying to figure out how they can save the multiverse. Afterwards, we see Black Lightning finally meeting some of the other Arrowverse heroes, including Earth 90 Flash, Earth 1 Flash, and Earth 1 Killer Frost. This looks like the same scene from some of the other promos, so I'm assuming this is around the same time he finds out his Earth was destroyed, and based on his reaction, I'm guessing he doesn't take the news well. We can also see this treadmill over here, which I guess means the Monitor is either really into personal fitness, or it's probably a take on the Cosmic Treadmill, which is basically a time travel device the Flash used in the comics in order to accurately travel through time. Now, since we know Earth 90 Flash uses it at some point, and presumably blows it up, I'm wondering if we're going to get a scene similar to what we got in Crisis on Infinite Earths number 11, when Jay Garrick, Wally West, and Earth 1 Superman tried using the treadmill to help the Earth 2 Man of Steel get back home, only to realize there was no multiverse by that point and barely making it back to the main Earth before the treadmill exploded. Of course, nobody died in the comic, which doesn't seem to be the case in the Arrowverse version, so I could be off about this, but I guess we'll see as we get closer to the start of Crisis. Anyways, after a couple quick shots that really aren't worth talking about at this point in time, including a line from the Monitor that's almost definitely only here because it sounds cool in a trailer,
this threat brings the annihilation of all life.
We get the return of the classic Superman, complete with those weird anime eyes. Seriously, whose idea was it to give this dude those contacts? Just looks crazy. Anyways, he spouts off a traditional sounding Superman line about how hope is the light that lifts us out of the darkness, and honestly, I'm pretty excited to see what all he's gonna do in the crossover. I'm still holding out hope he's going to fill the Earth 2 Superman role from the comics, basically meaning he gets to be the one to deliver the death blow against the Anti-Monitor. But even if he's only in it for a little bit, that's fine too. Just so long as this Superman doesn't get the Elseworlds treatment that the Flash got, I think I'll be happy with whatever he ends up doing in the crossover. There's a couple other quick shots after that, like a continuation of that shot of Supergirl and Superman I mentioned earlier, Green Arrow jumping over something, and Kara yelling, "We might lose the planet, but we can still save the people." Now, what planet she's referring to, I have no idea, but this could be a sign that her Earth is going to end up on the chopping block pretty early on in the crossover. All the important characters can move on to the main Earth when everything's all said and done, but everyone else?
What does that mean?
It means buckle your seatbelt, Dorothy, because Kansas is going bye-bye.
And that's pretty much it. That's all the important stuff in this latest trailer for Crisis on Infinite Earths. There is an extra shot of the Wave Rider flying over some city, and a shot of some dude holding a sign about the end of days, giving off some Rorschach or Watchmen vibes, but there's really not a whole lot else in this trailer to go off of, at least for right now. I am curious to see how or if later trailers are going to expand on anything we saw here, or if they'll show anything from the new promo images we got earlier today, who knows. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what all happens as we keep moving forward towards the start of the crossover. But anyways guys, that's my take on the new trailer for the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover. If you guys agreed with anything I said in this video, or if you have your own thoughts you want to throw out there, then go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, I will see you all next time. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this video, then go ahead and click that like button, and if you're new, maybe consider clicking that subscribe button too. I've also got links to my Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and Patreon in the description. You should probably check those out too. And if you want to see more of my content, then you can click the link to my last video. It's right there in the middle of your screen. Alright, and I will see you all next time.